16-inch monster, y'all. Alrighty, so little update on how the sand bed is interacting with the turtle tank. So to test whether or not the sand bed has been of any benefit, I have not done any kind of water change on this tank in almost 3 weeks now. And the water is still fairly clear. You can see into the tank. You can see the other side of the tank. And pre-sand, within a week, the tank was so dirty you couldn't see from one end to the other, and 50% water changes weren't enough. I was doing like 75%, nearly 80% water changes a week to maintain this quality of water. I will say 2 days ago they got some bananas as a treat, and they made quite a mess with that. And so for 2 days the water was super dark. I figured I was going to be showing you guys super dirty water in this update today, and that we were going to be doing the water change then, like a major one. But I think the fact that this water cleared itself up in overnight, essentially, like, it was still pretty bad, and this morning to come down to this quality. I'm going to try and give it another day or two and see if it continues to further clear up, and if so, I'll add that in at this update. If not, we'll call this evidence enough that the sand is benefiting. But either way, I'd say for the overall health benefit of the fish and the turtles, I'm not going to subject them to this test any further. I have satisfactory evidence for myself that the sand is giving a benefit. So anybody else who has that curiosity or is on the fence, does the sand do anything? Isn't the sand just going to create extra anaerobic areas and cause problems? Well, at least with the turtles, no. They stir the sand up all by themselves. All these goldfish and the minnows feed out of the sand, so it's getting constant disturbance, which I think also helps. But I've also added sand to one of my fish tanks, so let's go take a look at that real quick. Something I'd like to point out really quick is that already in a couple weeks, as you can see, the sand isn't so thick over here. In fact, it's pretty thin. I'm not sure how well you can tell, but a lot of the sand's been stirred up to the back. Obviously, this is because the turtles get down in there, and as you can see, as Belle's doing right now, she's, they dig around in the sand, they move the sand. So as it sits currently, it doesn't leave very much undisturbed sand deep enough to create an anaerobic area. We've got plenty of aerobic bacteria being allowed to breed in the sand, so we're getting that ammonia to nitrate, but without adding some more sand and deepening the sand bed, we're not going to have any of that nitrate to nitrogen gas conversion, at least in the sand bed. Now, obviously, it's why we still run a filter to help. As you can see, I mean, this is, an overstocked tank. Got 3 turtles, at least a dozen goldfish, and a couple of shiner minnows. And the water maintains a consistent clarity. There's no foul smell. You get a little bit of that marine smell as you get with any water environment, but it doesn't have any foul, sulfurous, or ammonia or nitrate, nitrogen-y smells to it. So far so good on that. But like I said, obviously, and especially with the turtles, with how much they kick up the sand, we're going to end up going out and picking up another bag of sand and adding that to this, so we can hopefully build some good anaerobic bacteria and not just aerobic bacteria. That's where another benefit of doing it this way in a fish tank comes in. Let's see if we can, I don't know if this camera is good enough to do it. Let's see, especially now with that light. Alright, there we go a little bit. If you look right there, about the center of the camera, you can see a lot of those bubbles trapped down in the gravel all throughout here. You won't find too many of those bubble pockets down here in the sand, even down here in the corner where we've got a little bit of gravel and we can see into the sand pocket. Not so much bubbles, and I really don't know if we'll be able to see it on the camera or not here, but a lot of the micro waste that's building up is getting stuck in the gravel, meaning that our waste breaks down in the gravel layer. The fish can consume excess food from the gravel and graze all day, turn the gravel, stir the gravel, help sift the broken down food and fish waste, makes its way down into the sand, where most of the sand is an anaerobic layer and the gravel is our aerobic bacteria layer. At the moment, and until I add another couple plants, still running of air stone, but once we add another couple plants, we'll actually pull the air stone so that the plants can use the excess CO2 that'll build up down in the sand bed and benefit from that, versus the air stone rapidly lifting a lot of that CO2 gas to the surface and gassing off. But this is pretty much all you want on a deep sand bed aquarium, is that ripple to the surface, get aeration and gas exchange at the surface, but not too much disturbance down here in the low. We want a nice slow filtration across the gravel and sand bed, so that bacteria has the most time to do its job, consuming and converting the ammonia, nitrates, etc. Alright, let's get some light. Alright, so as you can see, I also put in a fairly thick sand bed in this 30 gal. It's all at least 3 inches up to like 4, 5 inches in some areas. Now, again, I did this for partly testing the biological benefits of doing sand, but this is a sand gravel because of trying my hand at planted tanks. I've checked out on the sword. See, the sword can be grown in straight gravel tanks. I've seen swords be grown in straight sand tanks. I like the idea of both. Because I've got some other future plans in here, and the gravel's nice for my little crawfish that's in here. You know, he likes to. I'm not sure if you can see a tunneling underneath that cup, but like that was all flat. That was flat. But so that's why the gravel and the sand's here. So I don't know. Kind of sold on the benefits of sand versus the negatives. Obviously, we'll probably come back in a couple months and see how that holds long term versus like 3 weeks to a month now total that it's been of working with the sand. So obviously we can't 100% conclude anything yet, but we can say that so far I am seeing nothing but benefit of a sand bed in your fish tank. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm going to immediately jump and put bottoms on all my tanks, because I still kind of like the look of bare bottom on some tanks, but I'm also starting to kind of get hooked into the look of a well-scaped tank. So I don't know, maybe you guys can give me some feedback in the comments on what do you prefer, bare bottom tanks or scaped tanks with it could be sand, gravel, combination, soil. You know, what's your opinion? What's your guys' thoughts? Let me know. Maybe you can help me figure out if I'm gonna scape all my tanks or just have a couple and a couple bare bottom. Anyway, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If so, please leave me a thumbs up. It lets me know to keep making stuff like this for you guys. Lets me know you guys are enjoying it and I'm not just rambling on for nothing. And finally, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe for more. I've got plenty of awesome educational fish content coming out. We've got all kinds of other things planned. If you're into more than just fish, we've got a few things coming up that might interest you. So hit that subscribe button. Worst comes to worst, in a month or two, you can unsubscribe. But you won't, because you won't be disappointed. So just click that subscribe button, hit the bell, let's be friends, join the squad. Do it for the guppies. But alrighty, guys. Later.
Sleeping on my city with lyrical by committee. The swamp is stomping them, you know one drama, I mean not any.